Welcome into Hand Raise, guys, presented by... Oh, that's your computer. I was like, oh, God, what is this?
No, it's it's like taking off like a 747 at this point.
I feel like Gundy. He's like, oh, that's your compressor. You need a new compressor. Welcome into Hand Raise, guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neal McCready. That's Chase Parham here on this Thursday. Hope everyone's having a great week as we wrap up a week of coverage here at MPW Digital. We'll talk about, I guess, Georgia Southern and Ole Miss one more time, the Rebels as of this afternoon.
I was curious what we were talking about. I was waiting on your predicate to that sentence as you were going right there. So
Rebels a 36-point favorite. Kentucky around the corner. I've touched base with Justin Rowland already with the Kentucky rival site. So
yeah, I
ain't gonna lie to you, as they say, I'm thrilled that we're about to move into the other phase of the schedule because I think it's going to at least be a lot more interesting.
What do you think that line is for Kentucky next week? Let's assume who's Kentucky play? Ohio?
Yeah, let's just assume both
31-17 Kentucky, and let's assume 42-10 Ole Miss.
So neither team covers.
Okay, but whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Ole Miss minus
11?
I was going to say 12.5.
Okay.
My initial thought was 15.5, and then I remembered the Georgia game, and I was like, nah, it'll be less than that. Now, if you told me it's Ole Miss minus 15.5, 14.5, I buy it.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that at all. No, of course not.
Yeah, okay, Rebels says 14.5.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy that.
It's that range. As little as 12.5, as much as 16.5.
Yeah. Anything more than that, you go, whoa.
Yeah. So, anyway, Ole Miss and Georgia Southern first. 6:45 on a Saturday night, and other SEC games. We could talk about whatever the heck you guys want to talk about over the course of the evening. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429. Coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He will send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours.
It's a jet taking off, too.
That was a jet taking off, too. Give us a minute to get settled in. We'll take calls. 662-257-1900. The people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic Hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. This will be the Friday Blue Sky Live. Chase, what's going on at Blue Sky?
Coming to town this weekend, take advantage of several different things they have going on, including the Sweet Daddy's location inside the Oxford Exxon. You got lunch specials. You got $5.69, a couple sides of bread, any size fountain drink. Might as well get the 44-ounce one because it's there and it's the same price as the smaller ones. You also can get some ribs, pulled pork. I mean, look, you're running a little late on some catering stuff, Grove tailgating. They can hook you up there as well at any Sweet Daddy's locations, including the Oxford Exxon. So stop in, fill up, help us out, help you out, help them out. We're all one big family, so we appreciate that at the Blue Sky here in Oxford. What are we watching over here on TV too? So is that Florida? No, who was that? Who's that?
I'm not sure. It's like a UEFA, or I think it's UEFA Champions League.
I couldn't make those abbreviations be anything.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
The football wasn't on yet, so I just turned on to something that was a sports game.
Sports game. And then we have
sports ball.
Yes. We have Pats Jets tonight on NFL, on Amazon.
I think South Alabama, Appalachian State this evening as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you make a Woj today? Burnout is what that is called, right?
Yeah, I think it's a number of things. I think it shows you that he was tired of constantly being on.
And that dude. Maybe he, Sham, and Schefter.
Yeah.
Like I'm not convinced that Schefter doesn't program tweets to go off in the middle of the night to make it look like he's working.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't blame him.
No, I don't either. I'm not. I don't even mean that as a criticism. I
think it's also where ESPN has gone so far into the entertainment business and not the journalism business. And I kind of wonder if Wojnarowski, who was a journalist, I mean, he came up with Yahoo with the whole Woj bombs things. He was the leading journalist covering the NBA. Mm-hmm. And then ESPN hired him and they put him on TV, and he's not good on TV.
They tried to mold him into this hybrid character when it came to that.
And then I kind of wonder if, and I heard this, I'm going to give credit where it's due. Jason Whitlock said this, and I think he might be onto something. He might be completely off base.
Okay.
I wonder if this is him wanting to be a NBA general manager.
Oh.
And going and getting some experience at his alma mater.
Because it's a GM position is what they're calling it at St. Bonaventure.
I mean, he knows everyone in the NBA. Literally everyone. I wonder if that's what this is. And then there's a possibility that this is just a guy who went, you know what? You don't live forever.
I got a lot of money. Let's go.
I've made an absolute fortune. He apparently loves St. Bonaventure.
Let's go do something fun.
Let's go do something fun.
I can go be around the program and the kids and just hang out and
sleep at night.
Yeah, do some sports ball.
He doesn't have to worry about whether the Clippers make a deal with the Bucks. He doesn't have to worry about whether.
Look, he's going to have his own version of Jimbo next week when something goes off and he goes,
Sure.
I'm not calling Presti and doing this or that or whatever at that point.
No, he doesn't have to chase a rumor when he hears there's a rumor that the Thunder are actually involved with Kevin Durant. And now he's got to talk to Kevin Durant's people, and he's got to talk to the Thunder people, and he's got to talk to these people, and those Suns people, and 82 people lie to you. Because here's how the agent game works.
Yeah.
I feel like I've hit the point in my life where I can say this. When you talk to agents, the first 10 conversations are just lies. They're just lies. And you have to read in between the lies.
You're literally detecting inflections at times. I mean, anything that you go, okay, I know this guy, so what's he really saying? All right.
You're fishing, and you just fish, and you fish, and you fish, and you get a little bite, and then a little bite, but not much of a bite.
Well, and what happens with journalists a lot of times is, hey, he's going to lead me down this thing where he's going to use me and use me and use me. And do I think I'm going to get one back at the end, or am I just going to be completely the bottom of the food chain here
and
on this path?
I've been down it where I got used to the end and got nothing. And I mean, you have to decide, am I willing to do that? And maybe he just got to a point where I don't know. But I'm curious. Does he want to get back into the NBA? And then I'm sure there are some people out there that are like, I'm sure there's some scandal or whatnot. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Chauncey asked a good journalism question. Why do people in the NBA pick up the phone when he calls and give him information? How does he know things before players involved do?
Just knows everyone in the league.
They trust him to whatever extent. There's a level of fear. There is that's true. That's part of it is, hey, if I don't,
he could screw you.
And it takes a high dang level of capital to get to that point. There aren't many of those people in each individual sport, but there are reporters, media people, whatever. You go, God dang it, but I have to.
And he had a reputation for being pretty cutthroat.
Yeah.
I mean,
there is fear.
Yeah. But
maybe that's not the right word, but kind of.
Intimidation. And he knew things. He traded info.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
You know, like let's take a hypothetical Suns Thunder trade, for example. He talked to the Suns. He knew what the Suns were looking to do. When he goes to talk to the Thunder, he knows some information. If you're the Thunder, you talk to him. Why? Because you want to kind of know what Phoenix is thinking.
He left $20 million on the table, and his quote was, "Time is not an endless supply."
It's true.
It's true.
I mean, I would assume by this point he's financially set.
Began his career as a reporter for the Hartford Courant.
Yeah, grew up near ESPN.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Then landed the big Yahoo gig when Yahoo was a big deal. I mean, Yahoo's still a big deal. You guys are awesome. You get the check every month. I love you.
But no, I mean, it is funny how you say that, though, and how media changes. Because, I mean, I can remember on the practice field at Ole Miss, speaking of Yahoo, when I guess it was Miami, and back then it was the NCAA stuff would hit, and it was always Charles Robinson. And it was Yahoo with Charles Robinson.
A name from the past.
And it was like, here we go. Like something, hey, he's checking you out. This is coming. And then you move on to the next thing. I guess my point in that is Woj had such longevity and just constant for years and years and years and years, when typically it kind of trickles out a little bit and gives up. But yeah, kind of just going to go hang out and be an ops guy at St. Bonaventure. I mean, just sort of do whatever.
Yeah.
Help here, help there.
Oh, I'm sure in many ways he'll probably have to battle through the boredom at what he will view as boredom at first. And then he will get to a place where he's like, oh, this is awesome. Or he won't.
And he'll get back in it somehow. And
yeah,
I think you're right, though. It feels front office-y to some extent somewhere.
It's my guess. I don't know that journalists have the same. I don't know what the word is. I don't know.
He was making $7 million a year at ESPN.
So he left 3 years of contract.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah.
In 22, he did a 5-year, $35 million extension.
I don't think Yahoo's going to pay me that.
He and Adam Schefter did a combined $80 million deal in 2022.
Oh. What's Schefter make a year? $10 million.
Yeah, I guess $10 million-ish. Well, because what's interesting about them too at this point is there wasn't writing. You're just an insider. You just give the information.
Yeah.
There's no actual reporting from a print standpoint anymore.
And then you just put him on TV.
Yeah.
And he hated TV. He's terrible at it. And he's one of like multiple people, and so they put him on, and you have to talk and talk and talk and come back on this hour and this hour and this hour. And I don't know, that would get old. I mean, I think I could do it for $7 million, but it would get old. Having to be on all the time and be funny and be entertaining. That's not who he was. He was a journalist.
No, he doesn't pay anybody. And he's not even necessarily blackmailing. It's just he's going to know your secrets and he's going to be cutthroat with them. So
yeah.
I mean, look, there is some truth to the whole, I mean, as you say in this thing, I mean, there is some pen mightier than sword kind of thing here. I mean, don't pick fights with people that buy ink by the barrel. They can go on for days and days and days and days and days and days. There's a reason these things are sayings. I'm
trying to get to you, caller. It's not wanting to play along. I hate this thing. We're gonna have to come up with a different call screening thing.
Okay. Trying to move it over to
the Hey, caller, I'm gonna call you after I reset this. Just hang tight. When you get the call, it'll be us.
Who was it?
I don't know. It's an 803 number.
Okay. I figure you're starting to memorize a few of them by now.
I didn't recognize that one.
That's South Carolina.
Yes.
That's all I got. But
speaking of, we're 2 weeks away from having a bit of a quandary.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
You're not estimating on that one.
No, I mean, I know those guys. I mean,
we can talk to those guys, can't we?
I mean, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I anticipate that it creates friction.
Okay.
I've known them for a long time. They're nice people. They do a good job. If Ole Miss plays South Carolina and I need South Carolina stuff, that's who I call. I mean, hey, who do you call when you want to know something about South Carolina? It's those guys.
Yeah. I understand. It's just not doing well.
It's working on it.
Okay. That's fine. So you said South Alabama plays tonight. Their last game was the trouncing of Northwestern State where they almost scored 100. Was that
Yeah.
this past Saturday?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. When is Illinois, Nebraska? Is that today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. Ohtani got past 50 stolen bases today, so now he's just 2 homers shy of 50-50.
He hit one already. I think he's one away.
Oh, really?
I think he hit one already today or something.
Okay.
I saw a highlight on like social media.
Okay. We had some social media stuff on it today. Eli Manning, as expected, is on the ballot as for the Hall of Fame for the first time. He made the finals for that. So we'll see.
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
It's
good.
just is what it is.
Yeah, fine. There's no urgency on this show.
No,
it's
there's
fine.
not.
We're
That's
just
true.
hanging out.
That's true.
I appreciate all you guys that listen in podcast form because I always kind of wonder if this is decent podcast at all because we're just sort of rambling and watching and we have pauses and all sorts of things.
Speaking of podcasts, there are an absolute load of them.
It's
so if you are driving tomorrow, we got you.
It's like obnoxious.
I don't really know
today.
how far you're going, but I feel confident in going. We got you. I mean,
you can have a really long run. I mean, you could run Ironmans.
I'm thinking
could,
like you could drive from South Carolina to here, and we've got you the whole way.
Yeah.
Multiple podcasts.
I mean, there's probably
Mind of my money.
7 today?
Your interview with Bill Jordan.
Yeah. Brian with Todd Wade.
Yeah, Brian with Todd Wade. MPW Digital Extra, which was a little over 2 hours. McCready and Siskey. Butcher versus the dance instructor. Pete's Pigskin preview, and now us. And also we talked to Jeffrey this morning. So a lot.
Yes.
Already lined up some stuff for next week. Ole Miss and Kentucky. That'll be a really good week. The Kentucky rival site's great. We love those guys, Justin Rowland and all those guys. So we'll have a lot of Kentucky content coming your way, probably starting pretty early in the week.
Joining Eli Manning as first-time NFL Hall of Fame potential players are offensive lineman Travis Frederick, Ryan Khalil, Joe Staley, running back Marshawn Lynch, Darren Sproles, Demarius Thomas, the receiver, tight end Vernon Davis, still kind of hate him, Delaney Walker, defensive backs Antoine Bethea, Aqib Talib, and Earl Thomas. So those are the first-time people outside of Eli. And then the 10 players back under consideration from finalists a year ago who did not get in. Antonio Gates, got to like his chances soon. Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, Darren Woodson, Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, Jared Allen, Fred Taylor. Yeah, those from a year ago.
I think Eli should make it.
He's going to get in. I don't think he's getting in this time.
Which begs the question, so what are we doing? We're doing the traumatic little thing where, he doesn't deserve it.
You know how this works.
I do, but it's so stupid.
They do this thing. We go, oh, yeah, I'll vote for him next year, but he shouldn't be a first-time Hall of Fame.
Well, he's not going to play another game.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they're literally just going to change their mind because they don't want him to be in on the first time. That's it. Now, football is not as obnoxious as baseball with this because you can't find a more obnoxious, arrogant person than a baseball writer, but they still have this to whatever degree.
It's so stupid. I mean, what if something, God forbid, were to happen to him? Wouldn't you want him
You've
to
taken that away just because you...
Off what? He's not. His resume won't change.
I mean, Sproles doesn't surprise me that he's on the ballot. I just don't expect him to get in. But no, I'm not surprised he's on the ballot. Yeah, I think Marshawn Lynch is going to get in. Antonio Gates is going to get in.
Yeah. So how many typically get in? 4?
4
5?
5? Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
Read me the list again. I'll go yes or no.
All right.
Because I'm curious. I was fighting this the whole time. I'm still fighting it, but
You think you're winning?
no. So far I'm losing, but
Okay, first-time honorees on the list. So they're going to cut it next month, and then they're going to cut it to 25, then they're going to cut it to 15. Players must get 80% of votes to get in.
okay.
between 3 to 5 players can get in as modern era candidates per year. So 3 to 5. First year, Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly, Terrell Suggs.
I mean, Suggs had a hell of a career.
He did. Adam Vinatieri.
Did they let kickers in right away?
I don't know.
Or did they punish kickers?
I don't know. Travis Frederick, Ryan Coyle, Joe Staley, Marshawn, Darren Sproles, Demarius Thomas, Vernon Davis, Delaney Walker, Antoine Bethea, Aqib Talib, Earl Thomas.
Or we might just do the Skype thing this
That's
time.
fine.
I'll find that.
You're fine. And then, Antonio Gates makes a ton of sense. Reggie Wayne makes some sense. This is all without me looking at any stats. I have nothing up in front of me as I'm talking. I mean, like, Eric Allen had a hell of a career, but I don't know what that means in this context at all.
I wouldn't think Reggie Wayne's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He'd be a second. He's a back from last year, but same way. Yeah, I think I'm agreeing. I think it's. I mean, Suggs, Lynch, Gates, Vinatieri, Eli are the 5 off the top of my head. Maybe in that some semblance of that order, at least those 3, then those 2, from a first ballot standpoint.
Where do you find the number on here?
Let me look on mine and try to tell you across without having to dig over there and locate it. Up in your settings over there, though.
Call me and see when it pops up.
Oh, okay. How smart. Got you. That's what happens when you get master's degrees from Yale.
Yep. Get smart, man.
You get critical thinking. Okay. What's it read as?
662-259.
Oh, yeah.
8563.
And if a bunch of y'all call it once, it will knock it down. So just be aware of that. If you get a busy signal, wait a minute. That's what happened the night of the national championship game when it went all blocked on us.
Oh,
because we had like 130 calls at once, and they thought that it was spam because the system's not really built for that. And Skype got very confused.
What do you use on post game? You don't really take calls, so you don't worry about it. Yeah.
I have a Skype number in case I need to do something specific, but.
There we go.
You could just open a Zoom and bring in like 1,000 people.
Ooh, I could. That'd be wild.
Just free for all.
That'd be crazy. I could even put the eCam link in there.
You could. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
No. Because also that eCam link doesn't change.
I know.
That's the issue with the eCam link.
Okay.
Okay.
And no idea why this is doing that. But I don't know. Bizarre. I don't really understand some of this stuff. I will give myself credit. There were times where I would have freaked out. Now I'm like, that's whatever.
No, it's fine. I mean, Vinatieri's the NFL leader in. Who's
considered the primary kicker of his generation.
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, who do we have? Hey, who do we have?
Hey, Neal, this is Norman from McGee.
Hey, Norman, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. Just tell you I appreciate y'all's show. I actually started listening to y'all about 6-7 years ago. Found y'all. I'm not even an Ole Miss fan, but really enjoy listening to it. I'm a high school coach, so I listen to y'all's podcast on the way to work every morning.
Well, appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, one thing I know you have affinity for snakes. I got a quick story for you.
All right.
A buddy of mine was working on a truck one day, and he was laying on his back, and he was tearing something up underneath it. So he went to roll over and picked up a stick, like poking him up underneath the back right there, a tool. So he just grabbed a stick, threw it out of the way, and little did he know he had grabbed a water moccasin that was laying on top of him.
Oh my God!
Threw it off of it.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
And I thought I died the other day. Oh Lord!
Oh yeah. So he was really lucky. So I know.
He on him and didn't bite him.
Yeah, he had rolled over. He had rolled over to grab a tool, and he felt something on his back, and so he thought it was a stick or something underneath the arch of his back, and so he grabbed it and threw it off. And when he threw it off, and he saw something land to the side, he looked up and it was a water moccasin, big old water moccasin.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So I figured y'all would get a kick out of that.
Oh.
Are you a fan of a different team?
No, not a fan of any team. I guess you'd just say I'm kind of not even necessarily Mississippi fan, just a football fan. But I do enjoy watching Ole Miss. I try to watch most of the state schools when I can, and just watch. If it's a good game, man, I just like some of the games early in the year. I just can't turn it on, but
I hear you.
But I watched a little bit of the Wake Forest game the other night, and really impressed. I tell you, the defensive front's elite, man. They are really, really good up front. So that's going to give them a chance every week, I think. So.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was in the second quarter of that game, and I'm like, what the hell am I writing? This is the third straight game of this, and I was just like watching the defensive line, and I said, I'm going to write about the defensive line. That's what.
What
stuck out.
Yeah, I watched the replay of one play, and man, they just both of the defensive tackles, the way they exploded through their hips and came through and just knocked the guys off platform is unbelievable. So.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Wake Forest. I did. I felt sorry for Wake Forest left guard.
The guy that Nolan just picked up and threw around like a dish rag
all day, and there was dude. You could tell the dude was trying. I mean, he wasn't like, "Hey, I'm just going to go out here and get abused." I mean, he was trying.
It's the equivalent of the high school game where the one guy's really good and you're almost trying to broker deals, going, "Hey, just can we make this not a ridiculously bad night?"
Yeah,
whatever that looks like.
And those games aren't played on national television in front of 31,000 people. Those games are played on no television in front of like 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
You can get away with that.
Instead, now we got clips all over social media of Nolan just literally picking him up and throwing him the other direction.
And he was a big kid. I really did. I legitimately felt bad for him. We still got you, Norman?
Did he lose?
I think we lost him.
Okay. Thanks for the call, though. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, did you guys see that cringe video Texas A&M put out today?
It was yesterday, and multiple people have sent it to me. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, have you not watched it?
No, there's a new one. There's a new one.
Wait, hold on.
No.
This is different than the law school one?
Yes, this is a new one.
Where do we find this?
It's on Twitter. The football team just tweeted it. It's a guy holding out like the helmet and the jersey and the pants, and whatever the dog barks at, that's what they're going to wear.
Okay, hold on.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know that you can produce something more cringe than the law school one.
It's that bad.
I haven't seen the law school one.
I think that's why I avoided it, because I knew what was coming, and I went, I just can't right now.
I'm just going to tell you that I haven't seen what you're referring to, but there is a 0% chance that it's worse than the law school one.
Well, I mean, it's a dog choosing football outfit.
So this is 58 minutes ago. This production studios. This is Aggie football.
Yeah.
Okay. So an A&M player's walking through the facility.
Is Texas A&M football's account?
Yeah, Reveille is sitting in a chair. Now he's talking to Reveille. He's showing her jerseys, pants. She sniffs the white pants, so that's what they're wearing. Then he's grabbing multiple jerseys, including a top secret jersey. She picks the maroon jersey. And then she boops helmets and picks the maroon helmet. So Reveille has picked their outfit for the day, and now they're walking down the hall.
Yeah, I'm watching now.
That dog's just so weird. Their thing with that dog is so weird.
I mean,
he's talking to the dog like the dog.
Are you shocked?
No, but this is nowhere near as cringe as the law school.
The law school's worse.
10 times.
I haven't seen the law school. What's that on? I'll have to watch that tonight.
It's the TAMU Law School Twitter account, right?
It's so bad. It's about the Constitution. It's so painfully. Yeah, that was nothing compared to the law school thing.
I love that place. All right. Well, Derek Carr is going to wish he was a car salesman on Sunday.
I mean, I'm not fully bought in yet. Okay, I've been wounded. I've been hurt. I'm slow to forgive. So Neal's the one that's ready to lay 17 with the Saints on Sunday. I'm just not quite there yet.
17.
I mean,
if you run outside, you'll be fine. We can't stop that. We couldn't stop that if it was a cold in the winter. We can't stop the outside run for anything. Hopefully, Howie Roseman gets fired this year, along with Nick Sirianni and Vic.
So you're not stopping much of anything when Hurts is 2-9 in his last 11, or 2-11 in his last 13.
Yeah, but he's played well. He's playing better. He looks better. He looks better this year than he did last year. He's stepping up and running the ball. And AJ's out, and that hurt him on Monday. Defense played good Monday night, I thought. I mean, they only gave up 15 points in 58 minutes.
Look, I was rooting for you hard. I mean,
yeah,
I was pretty pissed off at you the next morning. I'll be honest.
No, I was pretty hungover and pissed.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. If you run outside, you're fine. If not, we'll win.
Yeah. Good luck. Talk to you then.
Yeah, No, don't even watch the law school thing.
I think I avoided it for that reason. I was expecting really bad when I just can't.
I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. Yeah, my skin crawled. It was horrible. Like, I can't believe that there wasn't a person in the room that went, "This is really bad. We shouldn't do this."
Well, got you talking about it.
Yeah, but not in a good way. And when you're a law school, you don't want to be talked about in a bad way. There is such a thing as bad pub.
Yeah, Corey, it's an ICC baseball hoodie. It is. Corey also thanks for Super Chat. Thoughts on MSU's $8 million donation to the Athletic Foundation rally time. They were very vague with what it is. Nobody said it. It wasn't to the Bulldog Collective or Initiative or whatever they call their thing. So it wasn't directly for deposit to currently pay players. It was to my extent, my knowledge, or correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I don't know. I took it as it was a pledge to future revenue sharing when that does pass. Because it also didn't say it was just to the athletic department for facilities or upgrades or whatnot. It was believed to be for recruiting purposes. But I think it's earmarked only in the aspect of the Mississippi State version of the foundation being able to pay athletes directly through either the house settlement or some other revenue sharing platform under that. That is the way that I took that. So it's not nothing, but it also felt premature from the standpoint.
It landed Tyler Lockhart, as Grind points out. I just linked the tweet. It's done. There you go.
Sure.
I mean, look at the momentum.
Okay. But it is not what the Twitter machine would like you to believe is the new free power of the world either. So it's good. I mean, it's good. 8 million pledge is better than not having an 8 million pledge. But with
we'd rather have 8 million.
But with
than
my
not have
somewhat
8 million.
educated knowledge of where schools are with the revenue sharing and going in house, it is also premature to act like it is some windfall. Also because it's pledges.
Yeah.
Especially when they're anonymous pledges where you don't even have your name attached, where somebody goes, well, that
how are you going to track that down?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical.
I have been watching with some interest today because I've just kind of followed along. Someone tipped me off on some stuff to follow along, and I did. The reaction from Arkansas fans to Yurichek has been really interesting, and it's begun to sort of spread elsewhere where other people at other fan bases are like, no, I kind of agree.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My reaction to that, and my reaction of, gosh, $100 a month is a lot to ask. I think I'm kind of right.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
The percentage of people that are giving $100 is not high.
Yeah.
No, and I know people giving 500 and 1,000, but also know a lot of people giving 21.
Yeah.
Because that's the number that's palatable to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Gage, thank you for the super chat. Your first one, so appreciate that. Putting your toe in the water. Says I'm a week late to the concert discussion, but I saw Adam Sandler fall 97 at the Tad Pad. I had no idea that happened.
I didn't either.
That is the first time I've ever heard anyone say that. So what was the set? Right back in, Gage. Tell me what happened.
It's probably just stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming. Yeah. Because that's in his heyday.
Yeah. I listened to his podcast with, I guess it was with Rogan.
Bored me to death.
I was so bored.
For what I thought was going to be good, so I saved it. And you'll get this. I saved it for like an 8, 9, 10 mile run where I had an hour and whatever.
I don't know how you do that.
That's what I do. I love it. And I mean, I've got ones queued up for tomorrow because I have a 10 mile run in the morning. And I was 45 minutes of music. So he did like the skit stuff. Oh, interesting. It said then 30 minutes stand up. That's an interesting show. Hour 15 with that combined. After like 30 minutes, they just kept talking about comedians, talking about stand-up. Sandler wasn't really opening up, didn't really understand half of what Rogan was saying. And I went, I'm out. I just kind of like reached down and hit it and went to something else and did that. So
all right.
Brian, you've only been to one concert ever?
Kyle sent me a super chat with that. He couldn't get super chat to work, so he said, I Venmo'd you.
Oh, really?
It did pop up. He said, if the Parham computer is for sale, I'm interested. What is the best car air freshener you can get? My car always smells of sweat and kids' funk.
Ooh. Car air freshener?
It's
I don't know the. And you hold a minute. You actually have an answer to this.
It's new car.
Is that
the little?
Where does it go? What does it do?
You can put it wherever, but you
does it go in one of your vents? Is it one of those that blows?
You can do that. The kids do that, but you can put it like even in your like on top of your glove box for a.
Does it actually do the smell like new car?
It just makes it smell cleaner.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, this is John in Greenville.
Hey, John.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
First time, long time. My question was going to be for Chase. This is a hypothetical. The year is 2050. First of all, let me back up. You've been making some people angry this week with your script M.
He really.
And so
I've turned heel. I even pissed people off on Twitter because I was the fun police, saying that Wake Forest did it before the game and that they only paid $750, not $1 million. And then we got onto the script. That script was a possibility. I mean, there was a couple people that killed it, that'd be on your helmet in those photos a couple days ago. Just saying.
So negative.
That wasn't a crazy thought.
So I'm going to absolve Neal from this part of the conversation because I know he doesn't like to make people angry. So this is just for Chase. I'm just trying to help you out, Neal.
All right.
So the year is 2050. You've already stripped Ole Miss of its script. Ole Miss and it's UCLA stripes on the jersey.
So Chase is 57-year-old is still doing some version of this, and I have gone and used whatever capital I may or may not have to remove beloved insignias from Ole Miss's athletic teams.
That is correct. The year is 2050. You're an old man in suspenders and whatnot. So yes, but you are you have somehow in this hypothetical become the Ole Miss athletic director.
Oh,
if I told you
but yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow.
If I told you that that Vaught Hemingway Stadium was condemned, the track facility had a problem about 6 or 7 years ago where they had to do a renovation.
Yeah.
And they said you can no longer play football games here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Where would you put the stadium? Because I know y'all have talked about this in the past with. It's a big picture thing too. There's the revenue sharing. There's all this stuff that's kind of put, they put the pen down on all these projects with the champions now and working on the project for Vaught Hemingway Stadium. If I told you that you absolutely could not play games in that stadium anymore and you had to put it somewhere, would you put it on campus? Would you put it off campus? Would you try to buy? Doesn't the city of Oxford own the Tad Pad? Is that Is that correct?
No,
Can you level that and put it
to
there?
take it down, but that's not a big enough area for a football stadium. You don't have room there.
Right.
That's the issue. I mean, your thing to do would be to find a temporary location and then rebuild in the same area. That's your only really option, because you don't want it, assuming the Grove is as now and something hasn't happened, you don't want to take away the campus feel, especially in a small town like Oxford. That's not the way to go off campus. If you told me you had to try to recreate something, then I'm assuming as a university, I own a crap ton of land on the other side of Coliseum where the rec center is, and I'm trying to rebuild tailgating, parking, and a stadium over there at that point. I mean, but if we're going off campus, that's your only spot to go.
Right.
And
you guys have just mentioned on
over there. But the answer is to rebuild where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have just mentioned a couple of times. I mean, eventually, I know that the revenue sharing is coming down the pipe, so they've kind of put, the pause button on all those projects. But eventually, and I think you guys are correct, eventually you're going to have to quit putting lipstick on a pig, because me and my friends talk about, this stadium and that stadium. I've been to 11 of the 16, and, save for Vanderbilt, we have the worst stadium, concourse, whatever, and people can get mad at that if they want. I mean,
wait, hold on.
Last year when I was
when you say concourse, you mean the guts of the stadium?
I mean, if you're in the bowels of Vaught-Hemingway Stadium and then you go to the bowels of Bryant-Denny, I know those are apples and oranges. I mean, one is way nicer than the other, and I've been an Ole Miss fan since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, they put money in Bryant-Denny. The truth is, they did a phenomenal job.
They have done a really good job retrofitting that to make it look modern as modern as you can.
Because it used to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, people can make the jokes, it's nice, but it ain't no Bryant-Denny and whatnot. But, I mean, just like there's so many other nicer stadiums that I've been to. And, Vaught-Hemingway.
Hold on, because this is interesting to me. Which ones and what did you like about them? I've been to a lot of stadiums, but I haven't been there as a person. I've been there.
If we're going to talk about the pros of Vaught-Hemingway, obviously there's no bad seat in the stadium.
Yeah,
aesthetically,
Vaught-Hemingway is really nice.
Right. I mean, just kind of it's kind of pieced together. It doesn't look the same. The north end zone doesn't look anything like the rest. Again, we're picking nits, but
the erectric way that none of the four sides look similar or cohesive.
Right.
It's a puzzle, sort of.
Right. It's like if you took a piece from a Lego set from 1980, 1990, and 2000 and tried to put it together. It's just like, okay, well, this kind of works, but you can tell that they came from different sets. So, I mean, I don't know. That's just the first thing that pops in my mind. But
okay.
The other things, I mean, I've been to Bryant-Denny, Jordan-Hare. To me, that one was – I understand that it's still old. All of this is relative, right? I mean, these are old stadiums.
Problem that Ole Miss has, right? Because the stadium is so old that it just wasn't built for this, and so it's very hard to maneuver all the people. It's like this traffic jam of humanity.
It's one of the things I'm curious, because I read it in the Auburn report about what they've done with the premium areas of their stadium. Is it mentioned streamlining food and beverage? I want to know what they did in that area, because that's one of Ole Miss's biggest issues too, is the way their concourses are built and the way that even the concession areas are set up, that they are inefficient. And I mean, I think even some small tweaks on that could help. So is there even ways to do some things along the food and beverage line underneath that would just make for an overall more pleasurable experience, which is all you're trying to do, unless you're going to tear down sides, which is what they had planned, but that was a $500 million project prior to construction cost increasing.
And I can't remember which side it is, but I think it's on the west side of the stadium. To get to the south side of the stadium, we sit in section C. But to get to the south end of the stadium, you have to go. It's either up or down a level to get to the south end zone. You can't just go straight all the way around. And so it's just, I don't know. It's not super easy to navigate. I think that's what you're referring to. But we weren't in Georgia's a very long time. We kind of left early last year. I know, shocking, an Ole Miss fan leaving a game early, but I thought Sanford Stadium was fine. Vanderbilt has and don't even get me started on their visiting locker room. Vanderbilt's visiting locker room has to be the size of a school janitor's closet. I mean, it's just, so thank goodness they've started working on it and trying to make it better. But yeah, I was just curious about the stadium and how long you guys thought it would be before, something like that would happen, if that's like 30 years, 40 years down the road and whatnot.
Oh, man, I think it's so hard to predict because you just don't know where things are going with all the NIL and the revenue sharing and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know how, as a university, like if you're Keith Carter and them and you're sitting in the room right now and someone's going, hey, let's finally do it. Let's update, modernize Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. I mean, if I'm in the room with them, I'm raising my hand going, I get it, but why? Like, how do you
justify the cost?
How do you even think about justifying the cost right now? When all the money's going to all these different places and there's so many unknowns. Like, and I think this applies kind of across the league. If you think about it, and I think I've been to every stadium. Maybe I've been to all of them. I don't know. I've not been to a game in Norman, but I've been in the stadium at Oklahoma. All these stadiums are old. They were built a gazillion years ago. They've all been sort of, except Kyle Field. They gutted it and apparently built the Palace. But like Tiger Stadium, and I mean, I'm a Louisiana boy. I'm sentimental about Tiger Stadium a little bit, even though I always grew up cheering against LSU. But, like, I don't know what you would do with Tiger Stadium to truly modernize the guts of it. I don't think you really could do it because you'd have to tear it all out. And then if you're them, I would say the same thing. If I'm in the room in Baton Rouge and someone goes, so let's pour $100 million into Tiger Stadium, I'd say, why?
And that's not even a drop in the bucket.
Right. I would be like, but why?
Like I said, I think Ole Miss's was like $450.
I just don't know.
Tiger Stadium, frankly, is too big. Like all these stadiums that went into these, arms races, and even they've had trouble filling it up.
Yeah, you'd even be trying to redo though, like I'm not an architect, but the bracing and things if you did, or start all the way over.
Well, because if you were to say, hey, money's no object, build what you need in Baton Rouge, you wouldn't build 110,000 seat stadium. You'd build a 75,000 seat stadium
with a lot of premium,
with so much premium seating and amenities, and
make it a tough ticket.
I mean, if you were building, if someone came to Keith Carter and said, "I'm about to be," you're going to want to kiss me on the mouth after I tell you this.
I'm building you a stadium.
I'm building you a stadium.
Whatever it costs.
Build what you want. I want it named after me, but the money is no object, and you got it.
Keith wouldn't even ask a second question. Okay.
He would say, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably start shaking. But then if you when you got past that and you went to the planning, Vaught-Hemingway is 65? Would you want 65,000 seats? What would you want at Vaught-Hemingway? What would you really, really want at Vaught-Hemingway? Because you'd want a whole bunch of premium. People love premium. What would you build? And then how would you build it? Because you'd want the aesthetic to be the same. You don't want to build these third decks. You're never going to get people to go sit in the third deck when they can watch on a 92-inch high-definition screen somewhere. So
to play devil's advocate to that just a little bit, I would want to build up. If I was, again, you said, getting whatever you wanted, I would want to build it up because Vaught-Hemingway is built so far out. Just to me, with the other stadiums, the acoustics trap sound in a lot better at other stadiums than they do ours.
Because it's out, not up.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'd have to build it with amenities in mind.
Right.
Because you're trying to get young people to keep coming to your stadium. Like in this scenario, what you had Chase, he was 67 years old.
I am, yes.
You're not going to be worried about Chase and his peers. You're going to be worried about Chase's kids and Chase's kids' kids.
Right. Well, then, Neal, then you could just put tents in the student section. Problem solved.
SEC average right now is 10% premium. I would assume that any new stadium you'd want to be at least 17 to 20.
Oh, yeah. I would think 20%.
Some level of premium, not suites, obviously, but because frankly, suites have kind of gone the way of the dodo bird. It's why at a lot of basketball and baseball places it's all club now because the new version is not.
Bryce says Mizzou is doing an end zone with minimal demolition cost, and its estimated bill is $250 million.
So a brand new stadium's $1-2 billion.
I guess. I've never built a stadium. I don't know what that cost.
That's all that I had. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
I mean, SoFi in Inglewood, which I get it's that stadium, but that costs $5.5 billion.
I just can't imagine.
It's the most expensive stadium in the world.
I mean, I can't imagine an SEC program having to build a new stadium, what that would look like. I don't know what that bill would be.
Who's
what you would do.
Who's done the small stadiums with really good seating? North Carolina,
Baylor.
Grind
says Autzen. I don't know how old Autzen is. That's probably the right size for a lot of programs at Oregon.
SoFi seats 70,240, but can be expanded to 100,240 for major events. But it has 260 executive suites, a 2.2 million pound Samsung video board, and a field that's sunk below ground to protect it from earthquakes.
Yeah.
For $5.5 billion, you get it.
I would tell Keith you don't have to make it earthquake.
We're good. It's fine.
Although there was a time when people were really worried about what's it called, the New Madrid fault?
Yeah, the fault line. Yeah.
I mean, I guess. What's Northwestern doing with their stadium? Chauncey mentions Northwestern. What's Northwestern doing with its stadium? I know they're going to have a new stadium in 2026. What's that going to look like? What's it going to cost them?
When do you think Wake Forest first got that deal brokered with Oregon State to replace Ole Miss? It was at least a month ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just waited till the week of. I mean, I'm actually getting more pro-Lane. I waited till the week of to do it when I've known this for weeks.
Maybe, or it took a phone call. I don't know.
Nothing happens with a phone call unannounced in 3 days. There is so much red tape in today's world of all this crap. No way. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, I'm going to stay consistent here. I see both sides. I see why Ole Miss is pissed, and I see why.
Didn't say it 2 months ago.
Well, they could have
when you first started making the call.
Maybe they should have. I don't know.
Yeah, getting more pro-Lane by the day on this one.
Well, I'm not anti-Lane on it.
When they announced that, I went, "Come on now, come on." Just got questions. That's all. Let's see.
Northwestern Stadium.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You're good.
Their press release is very poorly written, which is
shocker. Hey, who do we have?
Yo, it's Grind.
What's up, Grind? How are you?
Yeah, I was going to make some Medill jokes, but I am shocked it's actually poorly written.
Oh, man, just enjoying the show. You know how I go on Thursday afternoons during football season. But, yeah, that's my take on the stadiums. I've never been to Oregon Stadium, but from what I hear, people say it's loud and it's kind of quaint. And, you know, I think it seats like anywhere between like 55 to 65. But I'm not sure what the seating is like. So, you know, that'll be my only thing about it.
Yeah, I've never been.
But, yeah.
I had someone talk to me about the Oregon beat in 2009. Ironically, I was on my way to an Ole Miss at Auburn game, actually. And I spent that Friday talking to someone at the Oregonian.
Northwestern is going from 47,000 to 35,000. They're cutting 12,000 from 47 to 35.
Sure, why not?
It makes sense. Yeah, I agree with the last caller. All these stadiums that decided to, you know, like back in the day to, you know, go to 100,000 and we're going to make these big, you know, big cathedrals. Yeah, it seems like in hindsight that was the wrong thing to do.
I mean, it was the right thing then because, like, I was watching a documentary today. It was about the Tennessee Penn State series.
Mhm.
Don't ask me how I got there, but I did.
Documentary.
It was basically a documentary about Tennessee and Penn State. And
That's what you did today?
for about 30 minutes. And then I caught myself and I was like, stop.
And we were bashing the what game? The Duke Northwestern game on Saturday?
That is pretty shitty.
Is that who it is?
I don't know, but that would be Duke Middle Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
That is shitty. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, when Tennessee added lights to their stadium,
$800 million, by the way, for Northwestern.
Think about that for a 35,000 seat stadium. When Tennessee added lights to their stadium, it was Condredge Holloway. It was his first year as Tennessee's quarterback, whenever that was. The stadium was like 70-something thousand, but there was only one game a weekend on television.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Penn State played at night in Knoxville, and it was not televised. Think about that. Tennessee, Penn State at night. Tennessee was ranked 7. Penn State was ranked 6.
And no TV.
And there was no TV. So, I mean, it was a bit of a different era. In fairness to the people that built the cathedrals, if you wanted to see the Vols,
You went to the game.
If you wanted to see the Vols and the Nittany Lions that night, you were in Knoxville in the stadium.
You couldn't even tailgate and watch the game. Damn, that is crazy.
Wanted to actually
What?
If you wanted to see Condredge Holloway and
I can't even fathom that, man.
You get one game a weekend, and then you read about the rest of them in the paper the next morning.
yeah, if you wanted to watch John Cappelletti, Condredge Holloway, and those guys,
And you might not know all the scores for 2 days.
It's true.
Till Monday.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
The West Coast scores you wouldn't know until Monday.
You wouldn't know who won USC, UCLA till Monday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, so today somebody like Jeffrey would literally have to have like 15 FM radios set up in his room, set up in like different rooms, running to like
But he had to
just to hear it.
Oh God.
I can hey, listen, I can remember listening to an LSU Auburn game on WWL on a Saturday night.
We still here
had
can
it
pick up
tuned just
WWL
right.
at night.
But that was how I listened to
Yeah.
LSU. Otherwise, I was SOL.
I mean, look, it's one of my favorite. I said this probably in the last month or two. I don't know why we're talking about it. It's one of my favorite memories when the Saints made that run in 2009. We were at a buddy's house for the NFC Championship game, and when I got home, I sat in the car because it was night now, and I could turn on WWL and listen to the whole postgame show in the car. You couldn't get it in the house, but if you sat in the car, you could get WWL for that.
When I was in graduate school, so this was the early 90s, on Sunday night, there was a radio station out of Chicago, and I can't remember what it was. It was on AM, and I could usually get it, and they would talk about like free agency rumors.
Oh, got some hot stove stuff.
Sunday night at 10 o'clock, and so I would always go sit in my car and get it, and I knew exactly where in the parking lot I had to go to find out whether the Cubs were going to be involved with like Moises Alou or whatnot.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So we got to give some grace to the people that built Neyland and Jordan Hare and all that stuff. At the time, it would have been really difficult for them to imagine where it would be today.
There's no way. I'm gonna get us back on football, but there's no way we progress as much as we did in the past 50 years in the next 50 years, right?
Oh,
I won't go there. I won't say that. I don't know.
Because technology has increased so much. I mean, who can say? And I don't mean that whatever, but I mean, once you get over now I will say this from the part, here's where you're right, Gron, is that we've only been flying for 120 years. Something like that at all, like period. We've only had commercial aircraft for 100 years, not even. So, I mean, when you do think about the time gap in some of those ways on how far you've come, just information changing the world, but also travel in such a relatively small period of time. It is pretty phenomenal. So I guess the point is the imagination is so much broader to where we just imagine that, sure, that could potentially be possible. Because if I told you and again, I'm not doing the science. I don't know. But in theory, had I said, "Hey, somebody's living on another planet in 50 years," you wouldn't go, "Wow, that's impossible." Right? Am I crazy here?
No,
in 27.
Do what?
50 years.
Okay, are people? Okay, I'm gonna ask you this: Is it something? If you're alive and they say, "Hey, if you go to this planet, you can live another 50 years," are you saying you would go to that planet?
If I said if you move to Mars, it's a one-way ticket.
No.
Get there, you're going to live 50 more
No.
years. Go.
No. Boy.
What's the
hell no? You ain't putting me in no rocket. Hell no.
I have a question.
What are my entertainment options? Do I have the internet?
Nope.
Do they have, is NBA past there?
I'd be here by myself like Diddy with 1,000 bottles of baby oil before I ever hop in a rocket and go to Mars. No, I say the good Lord, if this is how I must go out, then this is how I go out. Nuh-uh. If you're talking about we can go to another planet, no, man. No.
Because it would suck to look out at Earth every so often and go, I wonder who won that Thunder Knicks series.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
They'll send you some sort of manuscript every month with the updates for that month. Go, okay.
By the way,
yeah.
Shohei Ohtani has done it. He's 51-51 now.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty.
That dude is freaking amazing. He is freaking amazing.
He truly is. He's the best baseball player who's ever lived.
Yeah. I just started watching baseball, so I can't really say that. But dude,
he is.
That's one bad Asian man right there, boy. That's a bad Asian.
For one second, I guess in some ways, I'll counter my point and go from a straight space travel. We haven't made that many advancements in the last 50 years because we stopped that program. Like we're not putting that. Stop. Do not do it. Do not freaking stop. Saw Neal's face, knew when I quit.
Yeah. I don't even. Yeah, let's get back to football.
Neal and Bud's touched the damn thing. Okay, so we're moving on. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
just decided not to go back. Okay,
we got there in 1969 and just decided that's good. We're good.
I'm gonna ask y'all this, man. Does Billy want to get fired?
That's kind of like Sandy Koufax threw the curveball and everybody went, all right, that's it. No more. No tunneling. No advancements. No nothing. Hey, you know what? We ran the wishbone. It works. Let's not come up with anything new. We got to the moon, and now it's like, there's no reason to go back.
Well, there wasn't anything there. Why are you going back? You saw it.
For 50-something years?
Saw it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ron. What do you got?
Man, I was honestly just gonna get us back on football because we were gonna go into a deep hand raise guy's hole right there. I'm just honestly, when I watch Florida, part of me thinks that Billy Napier wants to get fired because there's no reason there, and I don't know what it is in this Gainesville water down there that makes coaches act stupid when it comes to picking quarterbacks. Dan Mullen did this when we were all like, dude, play Anthony Richardson over Emory Jones. It's simple, just play him. He decided not to. He got fired. And now Napier, for whatever reason, don't just want to say, hey, we're going to stick with Lagway. He's the guy. That would do so much for his job. Why is he so oblivious to all this? In my opinion, I'm taking Mississippi. I'm going to hold my nose, close my eyes, and take Mississippi State +6 because I think Florida is just a corpse. I think Mississippi State is a bad team. But I think Florida is a corpse. It's a corpse.
Well,
it's a corpse.
If you're right.
I'll tell you this. Anybody who's betting real money on that game, you either know something or you're sick. Because Florida's quit. If you look at the social media stuff, I mean, guys are like retweeting stuff, liking Instagram posts, and then Mississippi State got boat raced by Toledo.
By Toledo.
I mean, I don't know how you can look at that game and go, "Oh yeah."
Honestly, you could have put
more talent.
You could have, you could have put Texas A&M jerseys on Toledo, and I would be like, "Oh, okay, all right."
Florida, Florida did not play with anything resembling passion against Texas A&M.
Nothing.
And it's
Nothing.
September. Like, we're not talking about last season, like at the end of the year where Arkansas
Yes.
quit against
Yes.
Missouri. It was the end of the year where you're like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yes.
I want to go home. When you quit in
They played
September,
against a backup quarterback. Dude,
yeah,
that was, in my opinion, that was Florida's last stand. That was Florida's last stand. It was like, dude, if you can't muster up the energy to just cover at home and and show that you got some fight left against a backup quarterback, it's done. And I know Marcel, he's athletic, he can move, but man, he diced them up like they didn't even care, bro.
Yeah.
Like they didn't stick to fundamentals at all.
He's fired at least a week later because that means they're going to lose to UCF at home.
no, if they lose to State, he's not making it to Monday morning.
You don't think he coaches against UCF if they lose to State?
God, no, I don't think he makes it to the Open.
No, you can't.
Oh, he's fired.
No.
Okay.
And then if you let Gus get the chance to beat him down, oh my goodness, he's gonna lick his chops. No. Come on, man. And
I don't know that.
I think if you're Florida, you got to fire him either way it go. If you're Florida, you got to fire him either way it go.
Fire him. I don't know that State's good enough to just physically do it. But Florida might not show. I mean, I'm serious when I say this. I know we do a lot of talking. If you're betting on that game, you're an idiot. You know something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know something and you're betting on that because you have some sort of a hunch, you should invest your money in different ways. That is a weird. There's no way to know whether Florida's going to be dialed in. No, there won't be dialed in. There's no way to know whether Florida's going to show up or not.
It's all about if you betting on that game. It's all about you think Mississippi State's floor isn't as bad as what you saw against Toledo, and that's taking a gamble on that. That's truly gambling.
And their floor is really, really deep. I mean, the truth is they were physically mauled at both lines of scrimmage by a MAC team.
I was astounded, honestly. I wanted to walk in the start field and just rip the SEC patch off of every Mississippi State jersey. Just rip it off. Just give me this. What are you doing out here with this?
Should have better uniforms than they do. You've got
red, hey man, not too hard on my alma mater, man. Come on, man.
No,
not too hard on the Jags,
I'm pulling for the boys. I mean, I'm all in.
It's pretty clean.
It's clean, but like the font could be a little like you just there's something just off. And then the helmet has a different logo on each side, which kind of bugs me.
Yeah,
they've got
now, I will say
one and the Jag on the other.
Yeah.
Before I let y'all go,
yeah, Grind. Sorry.
This past weekend was the weekend where I really found out that people more powerful than I, and probably, I guess you could say, love Auburn more than I, really want Hugh Freeze to succeed. And I find it odd that this is the coach that they choose to try to rally in one direction around, because there was a narrative in the pregame that I was waiting for everybody to talk about in the postgame. But it never came up.
First of all, I have to compliment you.
It never came up. And part of the reason why it didn't come up, which is
I got to compliment you. Your grammatical use of I instead of me in both of those situations, which 99% of the populace gets wrong, that was really, really good. And on behalf of my mother, thank you. It was very nice.
Okay, cool. All right. Cool, thank you.
My mother, Judy, would have really... If she's listening right now, she's very happy with you, Grind. I'm just going to seriously, she right now is just completely pleased with you and would like to talk to you about your upbringing and your where you went to school and stuff, because most people would have said, then me, and you got it right by saying I. So anyway, I didn't mean to disrupt, but that was really good.
No, you're good, man. It's
true.
It was interesting because even my mom texted me this. She was like, what is this? And it was, Hugh Freeze's plan was that, hey, I'm going to start Hank Brown, because he thought the situation was going to play out similar to when last year, when Nick Saban said, all right, look, I'm going to give the Alabama fans what they want. We're going to start Tyler Buckner, and you guys are going to see what I've been saying at practice, that he's not as good as Miro, so y'all can shut the hell up. And his plan totally backfired, bro. It totally backfired. So I was waiting. I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear what people are going to say about his plan backfiring. But you know what happened? You get a Rivals 100 linebacker to commit. So, hey, no, let's talk about the recruiting. Can Auburn finish with the number one class? How does the class breaking down? How does it shape out? And I was like, ooh, y'all good. Ooh, y'all good. Y'all good. Because that should have been a topic after the post game, saying, okay, look, Hugh Freeze basically tried to show the fans up on saying, Hank Brown is not better than Payne Thorne from what I'm seeing in practice. Payne Thorne is the better practice player. So I'm going to show you guys what I've been seeing in practice. And the dude went out there, in my opinion, his ball placement was better. I even saw him look off of safety. I was like, whoa, I forgot quarterbacks could do that on his deep ball, the Carrington Lambert-Smith. And I know everybody was like, hey, man, you got to slow your roll. But what I'm saying is the things that you saw from that kid are things that you did not see from Payne Thorne against New Mexico State. Everybody's like, hey, man, it was just New Mexico. Well, I saw this dude think up the shit against New Mexico State. So what are you telling me? So that whole plan of, hey, I'm going to show you guys one, backfired, but it was smothered with a good recruiting news story, which I found interesting, which just led my brain to think that the powers that be that really love Auburn are, for whatever reason, in his direction, and whatever timeline I'm thinking he's on is probably different.
What's the media? What's the local media doing with Freeze? Like all the sites and stuff, Rivals 247 on 3, whatever. Are they pretty much still?
I told y'all the truth, and JG didn't lie. He said if he started Payne Thorne, he was gonna write a column that he couldn't come back from. And you know what he did? He started Hank Brown. So they eased tensions a little bit. And so it's not an out for blood thing, because the media is still pushing the whole recruiting narrative. I mean, if you look at it, and then if Hank Brown just resembles any type of competence, then they're gonna drive that home that, hey, this team young, they got guys coming. And so that I'm telling y'all, bro. Like if that would have been a story at Ole Miss, that let's say Jackson Dart was struggling and everybody was saying for Austin Simmons, and then it leaks that somebody inside was like, hey man, he's gonna start Austin Simmons because he's trying to show the fans what he sees in practice, that Austin Simmons is not that guy, better than Dart in practice. And he goes out there and lights it up, and then it's like, well, I guess he's gonna be the starter next week. But see, here's the thing too. In his Monday press conference, he said, they asked him, is Hank Brown the permanent starter? And he yada, 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 yada. And the thing that mattered most was that he said, hopefully him performing well also lights a fire on the other people. Well, who are you talking about, my guy? Who are you talking about? Come on. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get the angle y'all would kind of be reporting on maybe on a slow Wednesday. Hey, man, look, this kind of came up, and like, y'all see what I'm getting at. So
sure.
That lets me know that, hey, I'm not so sure if the eye is that critical right now to where, it could be a burn them down season unless it just really goes to hell, and see, now it's reframed my thinking to where I don't even know what they consider hell in the handbasket.
Oh, now that's the scary part.
But you think Auburn wins Saturday, don't you?
Dude, the only thing I know is that the game is gonna go over. Over 56 is the easiest SEC bet of the week. I'm telling people.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling people.
You needed that 4 hours ago.
It is going to be the easiest bet of the week.
Tyler took Arkansas as his money line. Plus 120.
The thing about it is, see, I really don't know Auburn's true identity. That's the thing. Because if they choose it, because when I watched the Oklahoma State game, one thing I know about Arkansas is that Bobby Petrino, he loves, one of his concepts that he loves is cross, maybe dig or maybe out route. And in the Oklahoma State game and in the UAB game, the quarterback, for Arkansas, he threw an interception on the cross concept. He is not really grasping that concept of Bobby Petrino's offense, which is critical. and Petrino's offense. If you just take it back to Ryan Mallett or anybody, the crossers is a big concept that they're successful on. And if that's a play that he's throwing pick sixes or interceptions and setting the team up in favorable field position, then that can help Auburn. But also, they've been running a lot of 3-man front, which I don't understand from DJ Durkin. They're not talented enough to do that. Which the linebacker position is solid if you give them guys, if you allow them to play freely. But when you put a 3-man front in them, you're kind of taking away what they kind of do best. And the secondary is not what I've thought so far. That's why I think it's going to be an over game. I don't think Arkansas, even though I don't think Arkansas is great on the offensive line, I actually think they're very grit, no salt, no butter, no pepper, but they're very fundamental. They're going to move. They don't move the line of scrimmage, but instead of being 5 fingers, they act like one hand, which really helps them out, which is why the running back has had a lot of success, and I think he's real good. So
good player.
I just think it's
from Utah. He's
he's a real good player, and I think if he decides to feed Jarquez Hunter and Austin and Jeremiah Cobb, I think Auburn can have some success on the ground. So, I mean, the winner of this game is going to be well into the 30s, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I'm in.
So that's just what that was, like I said, that's just my big take from Auburn over this past weekend. So, like, my whole thinking on the season is kind of, recalibrated. It really is. So, and, with Ole Miss, man, you take them to cover until they don't cover. Now, I think Kentucky is a game they cover, but if Mr. Goggles come back for South Carolina, and see, look, I don't want to be the guy that was in the preseason, because I was saying, what if South Carolina's a little tougher game? And then y'all was like, man, if South Carolina ended up being a tougher game, I don't think Ole Miss make the playoffs and all that. I was like, well, okay. But it seems like,
I still
No, I'm not saying lose. No, I'm not saying lose. No, I don't think they lose to South Carolina. I'm just thinking in the order of tougher games, it's up there that, more than what we thought. Because to be honest, they should have beat LSU.
Oh,
we watched that game. Yeah, they should have beat LSU. That's the thing that I hate is we're missing out on what should have been a monster moment in Columbia, and we got this big hype, undefeated teams and all that great stuff. But we never know what the season holds, and so I'm gonna keep watching football and keep enjoying the show and everything that you guys put out, man. Hope you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Grant. Appreciate you.
All right.
Got a deal in the stream. Let me go back to it. Boy, Chauncey says he's so enthralled with the State Florida game, he and the wife are going to Starkville for the first time in 12 years this weekend.
Really?
Attending that bad boy.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting.
Oh, I got one for you real quick. This came in a little earlier today. So back to this Siskey bet thing, the Earnhardt thing.
Okay.
So what are the rules exactly? I got a point. You got to stay overnight, and you got to wear a shirt that on the front says Earnhardt's overrated.
Right.
That's the only rules.
Basically.
Beyond that, anything you want.
To my knowledge. I've never been there.
Well, my mother sent me a text today.
Okay.
She was listening to the conversation.
She's concerned?
She's concerned.
Okay.
And she said, if those are the only rules, kind of like you getting our boy to pay for your first class ticket
he volunteered.
That's my point.
Marshall.
You find loopholes.
Okay.
In big freaking letters on the back, I lost a bet.
Oh, that's smart. That way they
look, Siskey's already drawn up the contract. He did not say nothing else can be on the shirt.
That's true.
That's not your fault. He should have been more thorough if he had a problem with that.
I am aware that Dale Earnhardt died in a car crash. I actually remember that day.
We did a breakdown with that speaking of the Bill Jordan interview, he was one of the last people to speak to Earnhardt because he walked him to his car that day.
Really?
At Talladega. At Daytona.
Wow.
Yeah, he was with him that day and literally walked down the track with him and put him in his car. We recounted his day on a show last year.
One of the best interviews I've ever done was with Tommy Prater, who was at the track that day. And Tommy loved Dale and got really emotional about it. saw them doing CPR and knew it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, the guy was an absolute legend. But that is a good idea. That's my only fear. It's not that there's like 1,000 people.
I think you are overrating the viciousness. You're going to be fine, but I do understand the extra guardrail.
Well, it's just like all it takes is one person who's like, how dare you? And he's drunk and he's got a girlfriend that says.
Siski says you're going to have security.
Well, I know that, but are they guarding the tent all night? I don't know how that works. I'm so unfamiliar with like the area.
On you a race and let you do it again.
Let's not.
Let's do a dress rehearsal, if you will.
Good. Hey, who do we have?
Hey guys, it's Vibin.
Hey, Vibin, what's up, man?
All right, Neal. So I was a little confused. I thought originally if you lost the bet to Siski, you had to wear a Harris Walsh shirt.
That's not true. That's too much.
Okay.
Then you're going to really get hurt then.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you were wearing that, then, okay, I've been to Talladega with my dad a couple times. Grant, I was still in high school, so he kind of was like, hey, we're going to dip out around 10 p.m. on the boulevard in the infield. But, yeah, the Dale Earnhardt shirt shouldn't be that bad. If it was a Harris Walsh shirt, yeah, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. That would be stupid. And
yeah,
but to be honest with you, from an ideology standpoint, I wouldn't do
You
it.
don't want the visuals moving forward.
It's not something I'd. Yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy about either candidate.
Was that posed as an option?
It was one of the things that was brought up, and I was like, absolutely not.
Okay. So what did you turn down otherwise? Like, how did we get here?
The whole police dog attacking thing, which
you had gear on, right?
Yeah, but I'm worried about tearing a knee up.
Oh.
Because I spent 6 weeks laying downstairs and I was losing my mind.
You were.
Yeah. I mean, it just,
No, I mean, I get that.
Tyler's got App State minus something in this game, and
the Jags just running downhill right now.
Right now, I'm a big Major Applewhite fan right this moment. Like, let's do this.
Jay Hobson still on.
Is Jacksonville State Rich Rodriguez? Is that where he's at now?
He's at Jack State.
They've struggled, right? Hadn't they had a rough start?
I'm not sure.
They had some result that I found really weird. Maybe Coastal just beat the ever living hell out of them, is what it was.
Hey, you can say what you want about that 2019 season, but Ole Miss fans will always have that second half against LSU where John Rice Plumlee looked like Vanilla Vic.
He did. That was so weird that day.
That's what my LSU buddies.
It was wide open.
I didn't even name them that. My LSU buddies were like, "Oh my God, y'all have a white Michael Vick." I was like, "I guess we do, but he can't."
So
can't throw for
shit. To this point in the season has lost 55-27 to Coastal, 49-14 to Louisville, and 37-34 in double OT to Eastern Michigan.
Oh,
not a good start. They play Southern Miss on Saturday.
That's a get well game.
Yeah, they need that one.
Is Southern Miss good this year, or is this the year Will Hall finally gets fired?
They've struggled. It's been a struggle.
They've struggled.
Poor Will.
Castrated him last year publicly, so.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was one of those things. I was like, that's not fair to anyone. Like, why do you even – was it the AD or the president or chancellor or whatever put out that statement?
Kentucky beat them 31-0 in a shortened game. They beat Selah 35-10 and then lost to South Florida 49-24.
Yeah, that's not good. Hey, he'll look good in red and blue next year when he's an analyst.
Do what?
I said he'll look good in red and blue next year when he's an analyst.
Touchdown Jags, 14-0 South Alabama over Appalachian State.
Jays up, everybody.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, put your Jays up.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, really.
It is.
I kind of like South.
Okay, so
Plumlee ran for 220 that night.
Is that what it was?
220. That was like arguably the best college football team that ever played.
And he's just rolling through them.
And they were ahead by a gazillion points, and they might have checked out mentally.
But he was walking away from them in secondary.
Oh, he was just running, and it was like, what the hell is this?
Y'all don't do NFL games on the picks, do you?
Yeah, we do 5 of them.
Okay, all right. Did anyone take the Saints this week?
I did.
He's been loving the Saints all week.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now, I just looked at what the sharps are betting on. Yeah, take the Saints.
I did.
Because that line was so trappy to me. But my brother, he follows this guy on Twitter that I guess he puts out updates on what the sharps are betting on versus what the normal public's betting on. All the sharps are on the Saints.
I've got Tampa -6.5 versus Denver. I got the Saints -2.5 versus the Eagles. I've got the Titans -2 versus the Packers. The Seahawks -4.5 against Miami. And then I've got Arizona +3 at home against the Lions.
You didn't take the under for the Pittsburgh Chargers game?
I don't like over-unders. I get like 1 out of every 5 right. I just leave them alone. I hate
it's got to be really low, too, because Steelers give up nothing.
Yeah, they don't give up anything. But the Chargers have been pretty good, and I don't want to get into that. Over-unders are weird.
I feel like you're big on Harbaugh.
I think he's a really good coach.
I mean, I do too. Look, he won a freaking national championship, and he damn near won a Super Bowl. But I don't. Is he like an offensive guy? Is he the guy that calls the plays, or just he just does the CEO thing?
I think he just does the CEO thing. But it's like that deal where people go, "Oh, so and so's weird." And I'm like, okay. That weird doesn't disqualify you as being really good, right? I'm not saying you, Vibin, is saying that, but like people do that with Drinkwitz all the time. They're like, Drinkwitz is really weird. He's a nerd. I'm like, okay, but he wins. Like
Urban Meyer says hello.
Yeah, like who gives a shit, right? I mean, yeah, Harbaugh's weird. He's a nerd. He does goofy stuff, but he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, lost to his brother. He won a national championship at Michigan. You don't think he can win with the Chargers? Based on what? Of course he can win. He just wins. That doesn't make him less weird, but it doesn't make him less of a winner either.
Because his first year at Michigan, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be a down year. They won like 10 games his first year. He just has a proven track record. He doesn't really have losing seasons, ever.
Coach at Stanford?
Yeah, he was the guy.
There,
you
right?
remember
they upset SC.
He was the guy that beat that USC team, and the spread was like almost in the 40s.
Yeah,
that was in 2000. I don't know how I remember this. That was like in 2007.
If you think about it, Saban's kind of weird, and yet
first-year head coach Jim Harbaugh and Stanford rushed the field after the Cardinals sealed a stunning 24-23 victory over number 2 USC October 6th at the Los Angeles Coliseum, snapping the Trojans' 35-game home winning streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that game from when I was a kid because Tebow and Florida, I don't know why I remember that night so well. Florida was playing LSU, and they said they announced the score in Tiger Stadium, and the stadium basically erupted because they knew if they won that game, they were going to be number 1 in the country. This is how you know I'm friends with too many LSU fans. But yeah, Harbaugh. He is. Him and his brother aren't anything alike to me. Like if you watch both of them in interviews, John seems like more of a straightforward, just less quirky guy. But so I did want to ask y'all one thing. I want to talk about Arch Manning. Is that okay? Because I don't know if this has ever been discussed on the pod in general. So he looked good against, I don't even know who they played last week, but I saw he ran for a touchdown. He had a really good stat. Have y'all ever discussed the dynamics on why he didn't pick Ole Miss?
There's a lot there. It was a different time. It was early in Kiffin's tenure. Lebby was still at Ole Miss. I've heard things. I don't really want to dive into too much of it because it's a no-win deal.
And so much time has passed now.
So much has changed and passed now. I think Ole Miss would have had a better shot with this Lane Kiffin than they did with that Lane Kiffin.
I've always heard two things, and I heard it was money related, and they weren't comfortable sending him to play for Lane. I have no idea if that's true, but I've just always kind of been curious about that.
Well, I mean, he got a lot of money at Texas, obviously. I mean, anytime I hear someone say it's not about money, it tells me that it is at least in part about money. I will say that I don't think Ole Miss did a very good job recruiting him. The attention to detail wasn't there. There were mistakes made in recruiting that you wouldn't want to make with elite players, that they wouldn't make with an elite player today. And then I think Sarkisian did a fantastic job recruiting him.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's just, I mean, he was what year did he graduate? Like 22 or something like that? I mean.
It was before that. Wasn't it 21? I mean.
He's in his second year, right?
Yeah, he's second.
Yeah, I think he's 22.
Maybe 20. I don't know.
Yeah, May of 22 in high school. Yeah. So he enrolled December.
He enrolled January
of 22.
So he signed basically in December of 21.
Okay.
No.
Is that?
And speaking of Levy, by the way, I am betting that game, and I am all in on Florida. I don't know why.
All in on who? Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
State, I mean, I get what people have been saying about Florida, like players are on social media, but State apparently had like 4 or 5 kids quit this week. So, or last Saturday. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll probably get burned, but I appreciate y'all taking the call. Thank y'all.
I appreciate you.
It's a pretty good trivia question here. So that at the time, that was the largest upset from a spread standpoint ever, the 41 points. It's since been passed by Howard, a 45-point underdog, beating UNLV in whatever year that was, in 2017. But the interesting trivia question, because people who don't know his college career wouldn't get this, the player who caught the game-winning touchdown for Stanford, Richard Sherman, the all-pro cornerback.
Oh.
He was a wide receiver at that point for Stanford and caught the game-winning touchdown.
How about that?
Or sorry, he caught a 20-yard pass on 4th and 20 to keep the drive alive and got him down to the SC9.
Oh.
Yes. John David Booty, the quarterback for SC.
General's father.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes. At ULM now, right?
That's correct.
And his middle name's like Maximus or something? Do I have that correct?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. What's going on here with South Al?
They're
still chugging along?
Chugging along, up 14-0. App State's driving. It's third down and like 3 or 4.
General Maximus Axel Booty.
4
names.
Gotta hope there was a lot of alcohol involved in that.
If Maximus is involved, you better be a badass.
Well, I mean, he's a quarterback at ULM.
It's true.
You know.
I mean, it's like a different version of the quote in Arthur, the movie with Dudley Moore, where he's like, I'm just going to name my kid Senator, give him a head start.
Yeah. Drop it. You were scared. Number 1.
That kid for South Al had a lot of wiggle. He's going to be really good in the SEC next year.
Yeah, well, that's probably... and that's not good for the game. It's just not. I mean, I'm not going to argue with people. It's not good for the game.
But that's where my mind's going. I watched him and went, wow, he kind of got through there. That looked like an SEC running back.
Yeah.
So did some head coach in the league right now.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Cole from Houston. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Cole. What's up, man?
Nothing much. I was curious about this. Thought about the other day while I was driving around in Houston traffic, because there always is. And what would you do if you're in the athletic department at Mississippi State, given their NIL constraints? Do you try to punt on football and like go get a championship roster in basketball? Like, you can't really afford to compete at all in football. What would you do in a school like that has like a chance on NIL like they do.
I had this question in my mailbag. You can't punt football. You got to try to figure it out. You just got to keep working until you try to figure it out. You have to try to figure it out.
Do you bury basketball in the process, though?
If you have to, yes.
Do you really?
Yeah, football's too much money. You can't
But
punt.
they still get the TV money anyway. Like, so you're saying they would lose a lot from people going to games or donations or
8,
I don't know.
9,
Maybe top half of the league occasionally. I'm competitive.
Yeah.
to kill basketball. I mean, I'm agreeing. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I mean, at the end of the day, you get so little.
and how good can you be at basketball? Can I be a freaking Final Four team?
Probably not.
Because that's what I got to be to do it. I got to be like Kentucky, Mississippi State, Texas, whatever,
Yeah,
right
that-
there.
and that's not probably happening. I mean, you just can't. You get about a month of juice out of basketball.
Yeah.
You get 3-4 months of juice out of football. You got to try.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you try to run a gimmicky type of offense. I mean, I don't want to say Georgia Tech option style, but something
Yeah.
like that
You
maybe,
just
where it doesn't
try
take
to-
the
you just
kind of.
try to be competitive occasionally. It's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
look, 16 teams. Everybody can't win.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I'm really glad Ole Miss is not in that spot. And I would feel, in some ways, I feel for the fans. I have to, yeah, you root for a team with really no hope. That's rough. But
Yeah, I mean, but if you're in the department, you can't go, well, we suck at this. Let's move on to other things. Let's commit to baseball or let's commit. No, that's strategically that makes no sense.
yeah, that's fair. Well, I appreciate you guys. Chase, good luck to your Saints the rest of the year, and you have a good weekend.
yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Lane runs the ball a little bit for Neal. It won't take as long.
That would be
Enjoy it this Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Saints going to the Super Bowl.
Someone's got to go.
They do.
I mean, who's the head and shoulders team above them in 2 weeks in? It's not the Niners. It's not the Eagles.
NFC actually looks
It's not
pretty
the Cowboys. So who's okay? Well, someone from the NFC is going to go. So who's the head and shoulders team better than them?
The Lions look a little funny right now.
I mean, the Lions are a possibility, but the Lions don't look unbeatable today.
No.
It's 2 weeks in. It's a lot of football left, obviously.
Matt Rule to Florida.
No, I think Matt Rule's happy where he is. That's what I hear. I think Matt Rule will stay where he is.
He doesn't need that shit, Joe.
He's got a good gig. They're starting to turn it around. They're competitive in the Big Ten. Look, Florida's not a great job. Yeah, Spurrier won there. He wins everywhere. Meyer won there. He wins everywhere.
I kind of miss that like NFL matchup show in the mornings where they showed.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Big Ben.
Hey, Ben, what's up, man?
Doing all right. So you're so worried about this Talladega thing, Neal. I got some stuff for you to study.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that show Top Gear
Top.
or heard of it at least?
I don't think I have.
British car show, BBC, Jeremy Clarkson.
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, there's a challenge about 10 or so years ago where they painted their cars with very anti-Republican Southern slogans and drove through Alabama. And they had crazy rednecks chasing them in their cars.
You're not making me feel any better, Ben.
It was all, I'm sure it was all
I'm sure.
made up, but it's,
No way that would ever happen.
yeah, but it was,
If you're fine.
no, it was
No,
funny. I would love for Cole or whatever for y'all show to put your head over there. Like it said, like Hillary Clinton for president on one car and something like that.
0% chance.
That's funny. I realize
It'll still be fine.
Sure.
I feel bad now. I feel like I'm traumatizing you.
It's not a great topic of conversation in my household. I'll put it that way.
I think the genie idea that Chase had with I lost a bet's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea too.
All right. And then y'all saw the new uniforms tonight.
Uniform announcement tonight. I have not seen a uniform announcement. What are they wearing?
The Nebraska uniforms, white, red, white.
Oh, okay.
White, red, white.
With the with the USA decals.
Yeah, it's
instead of the regular Ole Miss decals.
Oh, okay.
So that explains it.
That's fine.
And I like how Chase was embargoed on the Realtree helmet, but had this awesome, cool new post game background.
Yeah, I mean, if you were watching the show, you saw the background. You knew it was coming.
I remember specifically asking in the chat if that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional at first, and then it was like, okay, whatever. Like, it just kind of happened, but then it was what it was. Yeah. I actually hate that I didn't do a red one in the entire preseason till they announced it.
Yeah.
They would think a red helmet was coming.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I should have. I should have had a red one mocked up.
Well, you're trolling the board a little too hard with that red helmet thing.
Just wait. Okay.
Okay. There's no way.
At your own risk.
Oh, well.
You're saying a red helmet's coming?
That's not what I said. Just go ahead, y'all. Get your laughs in.
All right. I'll tell Ambrose and all the other guys,
Oh.
And they're going to burn the gray pants.
I'll have to give him a
on the practice field. Well, this is the thing. Auburn has all these issues. They have quarterback issues. Texas is number one team in the country. The thing both of them are not talking about is uniforms for a good reason. There's no question what Auburn's going to wear this Saturday. Or Texas.
That's true. But if you don't, if you don't possess that brand,
it's either your brand or it isn't.
I mean, if you don't possess this impeccable brand, you experiment. Like Oregon has become.
But you also have to do it well. Like, we make fun of Kentucky's efforts to do this.
So far, Ole Miss has done it really well.
Yeah. They have great colors to do it.
We have.
Kentucky does too, and they still screw it up.
And then bowl loss was all great against Auburn.
Tennessee has good uniforms to not mess with it, but then they do this pewter thing occasionally and look like crap. I mean.
Oh, he's throwing the ball. That's a.
Well, I mean, it's like, do you think an Oregon message board is arguing about their uniforms every week? Like, no, we should wear green and yellow. No, we should wear all black. No, we should wear all white.
It's part of their deal.
And they've been doing it for so long now. Yeah, nah.
Whereas we're all trying to kill each other over the fact that we like gray or white pants.
A little bit. But this is the right uniform for the military helmet.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I remember when we first broke out that decal, I was at Ole Miss. I think it was against like Lafayette, maybe.
Lafayette or Troy. I remember this too.
I think it was Troy. Yeah, I wanted to snag one, put it on a laptop.
Yeah, that's good.
No, that's all I had. But no, yeah, top gear. We're riding through Bama.
Yep.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So Tani is 6 for 6 with 3 bombs today.
He had a good day.
People are retweeting a Sporting News article from 2018 using MLB scouts quotes who they called Ohtani a high school hitter that would never be able to hit in the major leagues.
Well, that ended up being wrong.
Yeah, that was a miss.
That turned out to not be accurate.
Curious where that scout is today.
I mean, you get some wrong, I'm sure, but man, that's when
some of my favorite things on social media when they post the old handwritten scouting reports for Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but his attitude sucks. It's like, I don't care. I'll figure it out.
Shohei Ohtani can't hit.
Yeah.
He's the greatest hitter ever. I mean, you're not just missing. You're like Babe Ruth missing. You're Hank Aaron missing.
Yeah, Katz quote tweeted it, and the article says it's from March of 18. He's basically like a high school hitter. MLB scouts believe Shohei Ohtani won't be able to hit big league pitching.
Oh, God. He's got to go 55-55 with the bad elbow.
With a bad elbow.
And then next year he's going to pitch, and he's going to have a 3 ERA. He's the greatest baseball player that's ever lived. That's what he is. You're watching
a team that had potentially and arguably the 2 best baseball players who have ever lived never made the playoffs.
Well, he's making it with the Dodgers.
He is, yes.
He's going to hit in the playoffs. And why would you pitch to him? He's phenomenal. You can't get the ball in on him. He'll hit it the other way. He hits speed, he hits off speed. He's incredible.
I guess App State's driving.
Yeah.
Braves beat up the Reds today, 15-3. Sale had another good day. Leads the major leagues in wins, ERA, and Ks.
Yeah,
and hand him the Cy Young.
Oh, he's the Cy Young's his.
From Florida Gulf Coast University.
How about that?
Uh-huh.
I feel safe for who's going to win the NL MVP, by the way.
You got a hunch?
I'm just guessing.
Okay. The odds on that in Vegas can't be good. It's like minus infinity.
Yeah,
no.
There's literally there is no money line.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
God, incredible.
It's good helmets. App State. The Mountaineer on the side.
They've got good uniforms.
It's good.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, we'll stop it there. We've been with you guys for like almost a couple hours. We'll kill it there. And post-game show Saturday night brought to you by Realtree. Chase will get started. If the line's 36. If the game's a 36-point game, he's going to start in the fourth quarter. 6:45 kick at Vaught Hemingway. And then, of course, we'll be back on Monday with another week of podcast here at MPW Digital as we get ready for the SEC opener. It's Kentucky at Ole Miss next Saturday, 11 a.m. We'll have a lot of content from the Kentucky site over the course of next week. Those are buddies of ours, Justin Rowland and all of those guys at is it Cats Illustrated?
It is.
Cats Illustrated. They do a phenomenal job covering UK. So we'll have really good interactive coverage with them over the course of the week. Thanks again to Comer Southern for sponsoring the show. We appreciate all of you guys being in the stream, all who called in. Sorry about some of the technical issues. We'll see if we can figure that out. But until Saturday night, take care. Enjoy the beginning of your weekend. Bye.